Back in Hawaii.
Yes. Hi, John. Nice seeing you.
Nice seeing
great
you.
weather.
It's unbelievable.
I hope you have great weather in Norway, but we're here together.
Or wherever else.
Wherever else you are. And John and I are sitting here, obviously, enjoying the great weather. And more importantly, we are at this Team Elite trip, John. And how are you feeling with all the presentations and all the new announcements we've made?
It's extraordinarily exciting. I mean, this is really something. I think it's world-changing, earth-changing.
Yeah.
And some of the things that Joe has been sharing with us have been, we've been talking about it. We've been electrified. We've been saying, oh man, how does this impact our lives personally? And maybe that's a great way to start because you're a scientist. And something led you to this whole discovery of age lock. And maybe you can just share with folks what led this, what brought this all about.
I think it's actually my major reason thinking about it over the last few years where we have been incubating ageLOC, that what actually drove me to this idea was actually non-scientific and it was more personal. And it's really something to do with my dad. And that is like, he died in November 2008. But to me, it was not so much the death that was sad to me. Obviously, it was sad. But more importantly, it was those months and the last 12 months before he died. And every time I visited with him, I saw the great deterioration and significant deterioration of his quality of life. Indeed, it got so bad that the last few months before he died, he couldn't recognize me. And that really got to me and said, wow, this aging process is something we must do something about. And maybe being trained as a scientist, I thought that surely there must be some scientific discoveries out there and something that we can use to create a whole new approach to anti-aging. And it's not about making my dad live longer, because every one of us will die one day, but actually giving him this quality of life before he actually passed away. And that is really what ageLOC is all about. And I told you, John, at this Team Elite, that in Greek mythology, if you don't ask the right question, you will get the wrong answer.
That's a great story.
Right? And I encourage you, everybody who listens to this video, is really go and read John's report on this Team Elite trip, because I can't say it any better or write it any better in terms of how John managed to encapsulate and capture all the messages that I wanted to sort of expand and elaborate to all our Team Elites, in fact to all the distributors around the world. And John did a great job in articulating and really summarizing what I was trying to say.
Right, and that's fantastic. And the personal story, I mean, that also was my situation with my father when he passed away. There was a point when he didn't even know who I was. And I was going, wow, that is really not a fun thing. But, we all have personal issues with family and so on. And I think one of the best questions about ageLOC is we know that people pass away as a result of age-related diseases, heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and etc. What is the impact of this ageLOC going to have on things like that?
Yes. I want to say something here that if you stop to think, I think you will agree with me. We are talking about slowing down the aging process, or at least making it happen later in our life. Okay. Now, just that fact alone with our ageLOC products, when we manage to delay the onset of aging, I think you will see there's a logical extension that all these age-related diseases that you just mentioned, whether it's cardiovascular, whether it's cancer and so on, Alzheimer in particular, all these things could happen at later stages. So you have, once again, like I said, a far longer period related to great quality of life.
So what are the distinctions? Aging is not a disease.
Absolutely.
And ageLOC is not treatments of diseases.
We're not treating diseases.
Right. So what we are talking about is the youthfulness, the dynamic health of the individual.
That's correct.
And that's how this discovery works.
That's right. Yeah. We want to actually keep our tissue young.
Okay.
All the tissues, whether it's the outside, i.e. the skin, or our internal organs or tissues related to the inside, all those tissues, with our ageLOC approach, we believe we have actually created an approach, a disruptive technology that can keep all tissues young.
So maybe you can describe that disruptive technology a little bit. I love the 6 key points that give us competitive advantages in the marketplace. But we're really talking about a new class of products.
Absolutely.
The world's never seen these before.
That's right, John.
How is that?
Yeah. So, the thing I like about using this word disruptive is essentially we have created a brand new class of products. It's not a me too. It's not an incremental improvement of what we have done before. It's like nobody has done this before, hence it's unique. Right. We are breaking and blazing brand new trails.
So we're not antioxidants, we're not nutraceuticals, we're not cosmeceuticals.
Yeah.
This is something absolutely, totally new.
That's correct. Okay. And we have elements of those things that you just cited in our new class of products. So, and when you have achieved, be able to accomplish and create these kinds of new products, you disrupt the marketplace.
Right.
It's like going from a landline phone to a wireless phone. You just disrupted communication. Right. So what we've done with ageLOC, we disrupt the anti-aging market.
It's kind of going like from silent pictures to talking pictures.
Absolutely, John.
It's a huge paradigm shift.
That's right. Huge
black and white to Technicolor.
Got it. Absolutely.
All right.
All these things. There's no. It doesn't. I think take a lot of imagination to feel that this kind of disruptive technology creates a brand new business opportunity for all our distributors.
Right. Exactly. And it's so big. In fact, one of the things you mentioned, and maybe we can just explain a little bit. Pharmanex, you and a few other scientists founded Pharmanex originally. Brilliant concept, brilliant company, wonderful products. But you mentioned in passing that you could actually go to a group of investors and they would give you multi-millions, tens of millions of dollars, in fact, to start the next evolution of it because of these competitive advantages.
That's right.
Okay, why would an investor, therefore, in a sense, why would a distributor want to be involved today?
Well, you want to be involved today because these 6 advantages that we outlined and articulated in this trip, well, those advantages, we're going to be competitive for the next 5 to 10 years. But you want to be involved now because this creates a new world that when you start to understand ageLOC now, 5 years from now, it's going to be even bigger.
Right.
You've got to start now.
Right.
You really got to understand ageLOC and grab this opportunity now. Right. Every race starts with the first step forward. Right. If you're going to wait for something 5 years from now, the train has left the station.
Hard to catch a rushing train.
Absolutely,
right. Yeah. Right. So to dominate this category of anti-aging around the world, one of the examples you gave was Google.
That's right.
Right. I love that example. Maybe you could just give it a quick.
Yeah, everybody around the world, regardless of whether you're in China, in the United States, or in Europe, every one of us uses Google whenever we want to find an answer to a question that we have. Why do we use Google? Because if you look around, there are a lot of other websites, what we call search engines available. You can use Yahoo's, you can use the Microsoft search engine, but we all tend to migrate and use Google as our choice to search for something. And the reason why Google is such a powerful and favorite search engine for all of us is because it provides answers quickly. Within 20 seconds or less, you get an answer to your question. And it also, importantly, the answer that you get to your question, it is an accurate answer. It is very relevant to you, John. Right. It's not like if you search for sex myth and they give you all the Smiths of the world. It gives you sex myths.
Which is unusual.
Which is unusual, John. So I think, now you see, and the reason why Google has been able to do that is because they have this approach. And in IT language, it's called an algorithm. An algorithm is just a process of really that Google has developed in an exclusive, protected by patents, proprietary way, that algorithm is superior to any other search algorithms out there. Right. So, and that's why this Google search engine, deep inside when you look at it, it is totally dependent on this algorithm. Mm-hmm. So if you understand that, then I think you're beginning to see why I like to use the word algorithm to describe ageLOC. It's never about a single thing. Right. What we have done with ageLOC is to have developed an algorithm to search for genes that are related to the aging process. Okay? And we can do it quickly, or quicker than anybody else, and we can do it more accurately than anybody else.
And the genes that are related to the aging process, there's about 1,000 of them?
Yes, and so far